Have you ever tried to quit a bad habit, but no matter what you try, it doesn't work? Or maybe you just end up giving up on the progress because it's just too hard. In this short video, I want to share with you the 3 steps to breaking a bad habit. My name is Joanna, your Mindful Mastery Coach, and I am passionate about helping people gain mastery over their mind and emotions so that they can fully enjoy their life. Bad habits come in all sorts of forms and can cause a whole slew of consequences. Whether it may seem something trivial, like staying up too late binging Netflix and then oversleeping the next morning, or something that can have serious health consequences and lasting effects that potentially may lead to premature death, like eating only junk food or smoking. The key to understanding how to break a habit starts with understanding the 3 parts that make up every habit. The first part is the cue. It's that something that triggers you to take action. The second part is the routine. It's the action that you repeat every time you encounter those triggers. And the third part is the reward. This is what you get out of it that makes the action worthwhile. It's the payout, the reason that you take up the habit in the first place. It's the high that people feel when they're doing drugs, or the additional minutes that you get laying in bed when you keep snoozing that alarm in the morning. So understanding these 3 parts allows us to create a formula for breaking any habit by addressing each of these parts. The biggest problem when it comes to bad habits is that people often don't take time to realize what their cues are, so that when those triggers pop up, they're already knee-deep in the routine before they even process what really led them there. When was the last time you asked yourself, what is triggering me to want to snooze my alarm in the mornings? Most people don't even bother asking these questions. They just assume that they're not morning people, that this thing is just a part of their personality. But what if I were to tell you that it's not, and that this assumption is just an excuse that we make? For this reason, the first step to breaking a bad habit is to reflect on what is triggering you to do it. This requires you to be honest with yourself and take time to self-reflect. So with the example of snoozing the alarm, ask yourself, what do you get out of taking this action? And what do you believe will happen if you don't snooze that alarm? Does it give you those last few moments of peace before you have to face the stress of the world that day? Does it give you a few extra precious minutes of sleep? And if you don't do this, will you be extra tired that day? Understanding why you perform this habit and what conditions cause you to enter into that unwanted routine will prepare you so you're more aware of what is happening around you and help you to not enter into that habitual routine. Knowing your cues is just half the battle. The other half is knowing what to do when you encounter them. The next problem we face when we're trying to overcome those bad habits is that we think that if we can avoid those triggers completely, then the habit will cease. The truth is that we can avoid our cues for a while, but it's inevitable that we will come upon them sooner or later. And when we do, those habits will still be just as strong since we haven't replaced them with anything else. So planning to avoid them isn't really a smart plan, since it's not a question of if something will happen, but when it will happen. For this reason, the second step to breaking a bad habit is strategy. Imagine not having to worry about avoiding people, places, or things that might trigger that habit again. but confidently going about your day knowing that no matter what comes your way, you can come out on top. This is why we must have a plan of action, so that when those things happen, we don't default to those old patterns, and we do something better, something different. Preparation and strategy is what wins the battle in the end. Now, understanding your cues and having a strategy when you face them is essentially the only two parts that you really need to beat a bad habit, because it's really just a matter of time for a new habit to form. You may have heard the saying that it takes 21 days to make a habit. Well, a 2010 psychological study has shown that it takes an average of 66 days for behavior to change. Some people taking as low as 18 days, while others as much as 254 days on the higher end. So if you don't see changes in 21 days or 30 days, or even the average 66 days, just keep at it, because you are literally days away from having a changed life. This brings me to the third problem that you will encounter, and that is the problem of motivation. It may be easy enough to be motivated for a few days, or even a few weeks, maybe even a month. But for 60 days? Or 120 days? Or even that 254 that it may take to actually see that change may seem impossible, especially when our habits are so deeply entrenched. How many of us have made a New Year's resolution and just gave up on it a week or two into the new year before we were able to build a new positive habit that would actually stick? For this reason, the third step to breaking a bad habit is to find a bigger reward. While bad habits like smoking, for example, may reduce your stress temporarily, even calm your anxiety, it comes at the expense of the impact it has on your body, reducing your body's functional capacity, whether that is physically, mentally, or emotionally. But what if I were to tell you that there are better rewards available that do that without all those negative side effects? This is why we have to find a bigger why for not engaging the habit than the reward we're getting when we do it. If we have a bigger reward, then it's much easier to keep motivated on the journey toward change. So just to quickly recap, the 3 steps to break a habit are: number 1, reflect on your cues; number 2, strategy; and number 3, finding the bigger reward. So comment down below and let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know if you do struggle with any bad habits, or if this helped you in any way. If you found this video helpful, entertaining, or educational in any sort of way, hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon to get notified every time I upload a new video, because this year I am committed to helping you gain mastery over your mind and emotions. See you in the next video. Bye!